Hello again. On this episode of Armitage Garage, we are going to do the most thorough review of the BFGoodrich KO2 tires. This is my 2014 JK Rubicon. Hey Scooter. These are 34 10.5 R17s. The Jeep has a 1-inch spacer lift. I think it's a really balanced look. I replaced the KM tires for a couple reasons. This is my daily driver, so I wanted something a little bit more quiet and comfortable on the pavement, but also I wanted something that was better on the ice and snow up here in up in Canada. So sit back, relax, and grab a pint, pen, and paper. These tires are very, very good on gravel. Much more traction than compared to my KM MTs. I really have to tramp on it in order to get the traction control to kick on. Whereas the KM mud tires took a lot less throttle to start breaking traction. My only negative I would say about these is they tend to pick up a bit more rocks. Those rocks that do get into the tread blocks don't seem to be causing any damage, and they do fly out relatively easy once you start going at a reasonable pace. So overall, great tire for just gravel roads. These tires are so much quieter on the pavement compared to my KM mud tires. Now, and the KMs weren't even that loud, compared to another type of mud tire. But now I notice that I hear the engine more, I hear the wind noise more, and I do not hear the tires at all. And here we're going at 70 kilometers an hour. This is the kind of the speed where you would hear that tire hum, and I don't hear a peep out of these tires. Like I said, all I hear is the engine and the wind noise. Comfort wise, at the Jeep recommended pressure of 36 psi, I found these load range Ds to be a little bit more harsh than the load range C KMs. However, I did a chalk test and found out that the optimum tire pressure is more like 30 psi for this vehicle. And so when I reduced the pressure and the tires to that 30 psi, I find the ride much more comparable now to the KM mud tires. Maybe even better. So on the pavement, A1. These tires are very tough in my opinion. They're a 3-ply sidewall, just like my KM and MTs. However, the actual tread extends down into the upper sidewall, and so the upper sidewall is extremely thick, way thicker than the upper sidewall on the KM MTs. And these tires are race proven, all that marketing BS. In real life I put these tires to the test in so far since I've had them, driven them through everything, driven them up to my remote camp, taken them on off-roading trip, and lots of rocks, lots of mud, lots of trees, and not once did I ever think I was going to get a puncture, and the tires didn't chunk at all. The treads have held up great, and so I think these tires are just as tough or even tougher than the KM MTs that I replaced.
So in the sand, my cams used to hop, make the axle hop. So let's find out how the KO2s do. It's really hard to even spin a tire. Bit understeer there. All right, we're gonna go up this really steep incline in bull low gear, and we'll see if we can, I won't even touch the throttle. We'll see how the tires do. There's the sky. We're still moving. Starting to speed. And we've stopped. Just too soft. Now, let's actually be smart about this, and let's hit it with a bit of momentum. Easy. Expensive! They're not cheap. I got them from a local tire dealer here for 325 Canadian dollars per tire. That included mounting and balancing as well. So that, based on my little bit of research during shopping, they are more expensive than a similar tire in this class. You know, obviously I wish they would have been cheaper, but I think tires is something that you don't want to cheap out on, and I think tires is something, in most cases, you get what you pay for. So, you know, if these tires last me a long time and continue to give me this great performance, then I'm not going to complain. These tires are extremely easy to balance. One tire, for example, took absolutely no weight, and the other tires took a maximum of 1.5 ounces. And on the highway, they're extremely round, extremely smooth. There's no vibrations whatsoever. So kudos for quality and quality assurance and control. Mud is kind of limited this time of year, but we'll try and find some. This is some really soupy stuff right here. And we're stuck.
So we can see what the KO2 and any other all-terrain tires weaknesses is, and that's mud. Kind of thick, sticky mud just packs into those tight tread blocks. It just doesn't clean out as well as the mud tires. That's what a winch is for.
We got our first big snowfall last night, and I thought I'd test out the KO2s in these kind of conditions. I have to say they're doing great. I find them as good as a dedicated winter tire. I really have to tramp on it in order to get the traction control to kick on. Braking is good. Yeah, these are hands down better than the dedicated Goodyear winter tires that I had on last year. They do have the 3-peak mountain snowflake on them, which means that they're approved for extreme winter conditions and approved as a winter tire here in Quebec. Whether it's driving this Jeep to work every day or whether I'm doing errands with my newborn in the back seat, I'm going to have the confidence with these tires all winter long. We just got a big fresh dump of snow last night, so I thought I'd do some 60 km/h to 0 braking tests today. And to bring some perspective to the results, I'm going to compare it to compare its performance to that of a 2011 Ford Focus with some relatively new Nexen winter tires. Okay, here we go. 40, 50, 60. Okay, we're going to go to the fence post. Not bad. Now it's time for the Focus. 40, 50, 60. There's my fence post. Bad. I think the Jeep did a little bit better actually.